So today I wanted to talk about my faith and how it's interconnected with me having Turner syndrome. So, to give you a background of my faith upbringing, I was raised in a Christian family with some really supportive parents and wonderful sisters. I grew up in Illinois. I was definitely a mystery to my teachers growing up. Just between the social difficulties I had, which I've talked about before, and the academic issues I had, we really just didn't know what was wrong with me. It was significant enough that I did have to retake kindergarten. Just between my size being so much smaller than all the other kids and being so far behind developmentally, they thought the best idea was for me to take a second year of kindergarten. And then after that point, I basically was given academic interventions in just about every area you can get an academic intervention. So I had occupational therapy. I had pull-out groups for support in math and reading. I ended up actually going to a pull-out group just to work on social skills. And all the while, we just didn't have any diagnosis for me. So, So then when I was about 10 years old, my family ended up moving to Maryland because my dad got a job opportunity. And so we decided to move. Now, when we moved, the problem was I didn't have any diagnosis. So when we had started in the new school system, they said, oh, well, without a diagnosis, we can't give you special ed services. And we were really worried about how I was going to do with that. We had moved partway through the year, so it was a big change to not only move to a different state, but then not get the same academic supports that I had been getting. So then, amazingly, the rest of that year, I actually ended up doing fine. And I was able to get back on track enough that the rest of my school years, I didn't end up needing help after that point. The only way I can really explain how that happened was that God intervened. I think He brought us out to Maryland for a definite reason. Because not only was there the change academically, but when we moved, it also opened the door to a diagnosis. So, pretty soon after we moved, I ended up having to find a new pediatrician. And the first thing she noticed was basically my height. And so she started asking questions about family history, trying to see if I was short because it just ran in the family. But she found out that no, everyone else in my family is really tall. And so she ended up adding a karyotype test to my blood work, and that revealed the Turner syndrome. And so after that point, I was able to start getting treatment. And I don't know if that would have happened had we not moved. I don't know that they would have put the pieces together. But yeah. So there were a lot of good things that did come out of moving. And I think God definitely used the move for good. It doesn't mean that all my struggles went away, specifically the social things. So middle school ended up being a really rough time for me. I just really wasn't making friends. And I fell into this assumption that whenever I heard people talking about things that I could connect in any sort of way back to me, they were automatically making fun of me. That was the only thing I would assume. And yeah, it would make me so mad. And I didn't really know what to do with that anger. So I would go over the top trying to demonstrate how mad I was. And people thought that that was funny. And so the cycle kept continuing. And that brought me to a place where I was getting really hopeless about life. I ended up starting to pray that, if God didn't have a purpose for me to still be alive, that He would let me die, basically. And thankfully, God didn't give me the answer I was looking for on that prayer. So because I was able to turn to God in that time, I think I was able to start telling myself that, okay, if I'm still alive today, even though I might be having a bad day, there still must be a reason that I'm alive, because I had asked God that He wouldn't keep me around if I didn't have a purpose. But by the time I hit high school, like I mentioned, I think in previous videos, things did get better. I, in high school, discovered my passion in helping people with disabilities. Before high school, I had been starting to, I think, lean that way. But high school is when I really realized that that was an actual career pathway for me. Um, in high school, I joined the Best Buddies chapter that we had at my school. And that was a really great experience. So I made a really nice connection with the student that I was paired with as a buddy. I really got to know him well and his family. And actually, we still try to hang out once in a while, even though it's been years since high school. Let's see. So when I graduated high school, I ended up going to community college for a degree in elementary special education. My initial plan for my own career pathway was going to be transferring to a university and getting certified as a special ed teacher. But because of my Turners and some of the issues with transportation that I had as a result of that, it became apparent that it was going to be very hard for me to try to make that work. So I started looking into other options, and I found out that with my associate's degree, I could still be able to work in the school system at a lower level position. So it's another time where I can definitely say God opened a doorway for me, because I graduated community college and I'd been looking for a position, and it was starting to get toward the end of the summer, and I was really starting to panic, like, okay, what am I gonna do? I don't have anything set up to keep me going the direction I want to go. But at the last second, I ended up getting a response back from an elementary school that I had reached out to, and that's now where I currently work. And that job has been such a blessing for both, I think, me and the students I work with and their teachers as well. It allows me to work in a job where I can help people in the way that I've wanted to be able to help people, without having the pressure of having to make the hard decisions and set up all the different meetings that the special ed teacher would have to do. The other thing good that came out of that job was that it shifted my work schedule so that my evenings were available. And because of that, I was able to start joining the Bible study that I'm a part of, which I've mentioned numerous times. That's been a really important thing for me. Yeah, I mean, overall, I don't believe that my life in any way is a coincidence. And the faith that I have gives me so much more meaning to my life. And so I hope that story is an encouragement. And thanks for listening.